The best of racing is always at Los Alamitos, with exciting action every Saturday and Sunday nights. The Ed Burke Million Futurity Final is set for Sunday night, June 16th, with a lineup of stars led by fastest qualifier Up to Party, Kindergarten Futurity runner-up My Bud, plus undefeated standouts Norco, Big Hurt, and Laredo, and more. The top juveniles in quarter horse racing, plus night racing's best bets, season high pools in the early pick 4, and our pick 6 promo. Always at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
And we're back for a special episode of the Los Alamitos preview show. It's going to be a big weekend here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. This is Professor G, and happy to be joined by Christopher Wade. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing fine, boss. How you doing today, boss?
I'm doing well, especially with this kind of cars that we have going on this weekend. 9 races both days on Saturday and Sunday. First post on both days also at 6:40 p.m. and some tremendous races right off the bat. On Saturday night, we have the running of the $100,000 Abigail Kawananakoa, a great group of fillies and mares in that one. Patty Saint, who I call the queen of the Intermountain region because she has just won so many races in that area of the country. But she's also come out here to Los Al and done extremely well. She's 2-for-2 here at Los Al, won the Charger Bar Handicap, also won the Miss Princess Handicap here. We have to say that's the top mare in the nation right now, or certainly one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. Have you had a chance to take a look at the Abigail Kawananakoa, Chris?
Yeah, she just looks on my figures, she figures a block the best. She's just got so much talent. And the scary part is she had trouble in the most recent race, and she put forth a huge run midway, and she had run left in the tank without even being asked. So she's got so much talent, and the deserved 6-5 favorite in that affair.
Yeah, here's the field. We can just kind of take a look at it. Gara Corona Jess drew the rail 20-1. Tina Arena 20-1 as well. Won the Connie Hall Stakes. Tina Arena, I should say. Remember her from Dr. Ed Allred's Tremendous Barn. She's a stakes winner also. She's 20-1. One of those 3 maybe could get in there. Gara Corona Jess has ran some really nice races, including that second place finish in the Virginia Highland. The number 4 horse, of course, Patty Saint, the big favorite, 6-5. On the morning line, won that Charger Bar, won the Miss Princess. The number 5 horse, Better Off Friends, coming off of a 3rd place finish in that Miss Princess, just behind Patty Saint and Jessica Cruz. The 6, Fearless Moon, 4-1 on the morning line from trainer Juan Aleman's barn. She ran 2nd in the Charger Bar from that tremendous Gentry Farms group of mares. They always have 1 or 2 really good mares. The 7 favorite Cartella 20-1, and the 8 Nymphet 9-2. And continuing the field, Jessica Cruz at 20-1, and wrapping up the field, there's AJ Bourne running 10-1. Multiple stakes winner as well here at Los Alamitos. Won the Denim and Diamonds, also won the Virginia Highlands. So 10 outstanding mares. If you're looking at any other runner other than Patty Saint you like in this one?
Well, of course, Fearless Moon's got some quality numbers. This horse ran on my charts 160 days ago, but the horse's previous numbers were pretty solid and gives the horse a look to grab a nice slice of the pie. And, of course, Nymphet, she's got so much talent, but invariably she's her own worst enemy. She always finds trouble, and she always comes flying. She bobbled badly last time and was crossed and finished very, very well in close quarters. Like I said, if she ever gets away clean, she's got to look to grab a nice slice of the pie there for Jimmy Glenn and the doctor. Like I said, she gets away decently for a change. She's got to look at the outcome. But Patty Saint got so much talent and figures very, very, very tough to deny as a deserved favorite in that affair.
19 victories for Patty Saint, 14 of them coming in stakes races. Just a blockbuster of a mare here in the Abigail Kawananakoa. Of course, this weekend, the main event has to be the Ed Burke Million Futurity, $1 million race. What a great group of runners in that one. We're going to take a look at this field as well, Chris. Any thoughts that from the trials, bringing him up to now to the big final that we have?
Oh, there's just so much talent in this affair. And can you believe The fastest qualifier was a $12,000 yearling purchase at Los Alamos Equine South. We're talking about up to party. $12,000, the fastest qualifier. So very, very impressive. Broke the maiden very strongly and lugged out the final half of the affair, then drew the rail in that next start and broke the lead and just kept on going. So big look at the outcome in that the fastest qualifier up to party. But I got to give us big slice of the pie to Norco. That horse has just got so much talent.
Yeah, exactly. Had a chance to take an interview with Scott Willoughby. Let's hear what he had to say about Norco heading into the Ed Burke Million Futurity.
The horse came back great after the trials. He's bucking and playing, eating all the grain and feeling good. So I'm pretty happy with him. He's training really well. The time between there, he's just getting bigger and stronger. So we've enjoyed it. And he's such a smart colt. He takes care of himself pretty well. And I just appreciate the fact Doc's got him and we got shots run.
How early in from the time that you first got this horse did you know that you had something special?
Well, I've had both his brothers. So I've had several horses out of that family, and I had his mother, and they can all run. It seemed like out of that mare a little bit, and he looked like a runner right away. He wasn't as big as some of the other horses, but he definitely, his first work showed me he was going to be something, and has just kept improving.
Well, there's Scott Willoughby right there talking about that superstar Norco, Chris. Just a tremendous performance in his trial, a tremendous performance in his maiden race. 2 1/4 length victory. There it is. We can see it on the screen. Then comes back and wins this trial by 1 1/4 length. What are your thoughts on, 1 3/4 lengths? What are your thoughts on Norco?
This horse, from the get-go, this horse showed me a stack of talent. He gave me chills when I saw his workout, his first workout, the 12-3. I gave it an A+-. First drill, never asked to run a step, locked and loaded, striding out like a monster, came right back. I gave his second drill an A++, a 2-year-old. And the thing about that is Scott Willoughby doesn't push his horses at all in the morning. He lets them develop on their own. They get bigger, better, faster, and stronger with each race. And this horse was never asked to run in either of his workouts and or either of his victories. The maiden event was never asked to run, guzzled, crushed, came back in his trial, was starting out very, very strong with run left to give. This horse is just, he's scary good, to be honest with you.
Scary good. Let's see if he's scary good in the final. He's just been tremendous all the way around, a superstar. And like you said, from the first time that he got out there and worked, Scott Willoughby said it right there on the interview. He knew he had something special, and he knew that there was a lot there since he's worked with so many really good ones in the past, Circle City, Nomadic, but he's had a lot of really nice runners from Moonlight Corona, a mare, like he mentioned, he also trained as well. But it is a tremendous group of runners. We got 10 of them in there. Just St. Kevin is on post number 9. We're going to hear a little bit more from this runner from Heath Taylor. I had a chance to talk to him as well. And the number 3 horse, My Bud, also from that Heath Taylor barn. Both of them owned by Keith Nelson. Both of them geldings by KVN Corona. Your thoughts on those 2 horses, Chris?
Yeah, well, like I said, My Bud won the first, won his trial rather handily with run left to give and galloped out very, very strong. The talent is there. This horse showed a stack of ability right from the get-go for Heath Taylor. And has to look at grab a slice of the pie without a doubt. And Justin Kevin was in the first trial, and invariably it seems like the races get faster as the night goes on. Normally the track would seem to be a little bit slow. I got the track about 11 or 12 slow on my variant, but he broke well and he finished very strongly. Galloped out very, very strong. He's drawn well, and for his style of racing, he'd give him a look at a price to grab a slice underneath exotic pie in that Ed Burke Million Futurity.
All right, let's hear what Heath Taylor had to say about My Bud and also Just St. Kevin.
Yeah, the horses really, really run well. Yeah, the horses really, really run well. He's been really consistent. I think the horse is going to really relish the last extra added distance. I think that the 350 is going to suit him a little bit better than the 300. Obviously, it's a very, very tough race. The depth and the quality of the race, Norco's look like a superstar, and Monty's filly obviously is very impressive. There's several other horses in there, and it's a really deep field. So hopefully the horse will get away clean and compete good. It's a really deep field, 10 quality runners. Of course, anytime it's $1 million, it's supposed to be tough.
What are your thoughts on Just St. Kevin?
I think it's a huge horse, a really big, long strided horse. I think that the horse will just get better all year. He certainly wants 350, 400, and 440, even possibly. He's a giant horse, over 16 hands. So I think he's still developing, still coming around. I think he ran a good trial race, but I think he's got a lot more once he puts it all together. He's just kind of still growing into his body.
Well, Chris, a big striding horse sitting on the outside post. I think that's a pretty good combination for Just St. Kevin. Got to give this horse a look. I actually included him in my pick 4 just from what Heath Taylor had to say about this horse. I went, of course, with Norco. I gave my bud there a choice as well. Devil's Tower, Just St. Kevin. Those 4 horses are my top 4 that I look at. Fear and Fridays, horse from the Monte Rosa barn. He's another one that, he didn't run as great in the kindergarten, but that was a lot of trouble that he had to face. He did come on strong there at the end of the kindergarten, but in the 2 trials that we've seen him, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, he certainly has. Like I said, in the kindergarten, he had a stack of trouble and came back and did win his trial. And another low purchase, $15,000 at Los Equine Sale. Got some bargains running for $1 million purse of this season, and it's a very, very talented group. And like I said, Norco, got to give him the edge on my numbers. He's a horse that makes the hair on your arm stand up. He's just got so much talent. And of course, up to party fastest qualifier, has a look at the outcome. And of course, Devil's Tower to the outside. The clear trip expected has a look. It's a closely matched affair. In 2 years, they can pop up a length and a half improvement from one race to the next, and it can go a number of ways because it's this talent-laden affair.
Well, up next, we have George Duarte. He's going to be talking about Devil's Tower and also the 2 horses that Jose Flores has in the Ed Burke Million. And we're going to wrap up the show with Michael Wrona. So a lot of stuff still to come here in the Los Alamitos preview show. Thanks so much, Chris. We'll see you here at the races on what should be a tremendous weekend at Los Al.
Oh, it's going to be a great weekend. See you out there, boss.
Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick 4s. Both wagers continue to feature outstanding pools. The early pick 4 pool was over $213,000 on May 5th, and the late pick 4 pool was over $190,000 on May 19th. And remember, Los Alamitos still offers the pick 6 promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Year after year, night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
And one person that's always taking a good look at the early and late pick 4s is George Duarte. Happy to be joined by George Duarte. How you doing, George?
I'm doing good. I just finished all the glances and the night lines, and it's a good late pick 4. This is going to be, I think, one that's going to pay well.
So out of the 4 options that we have in the pick 4 wagers this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, is there one that you like the most that you think maybe it has a chance to hit the big payout like you did a few weeks ago when you had that $5,000 late one? I
would say the late pick 4 on Sunday. And then I have a chance maybe for the early pick 4 on Sunday because I do like a price. And you can find that price in the night lines.
That's right. You can come into the track or any other simulcast locations, purchase one of the night lines there, or you can also subscribe to our website, losalamitos.com, and download all the glance pages with the comments that George puts together, not to mention the fact that your comments are also available in the daily racing form wherever you see the Los Alamitos past performances. So we got everything covered there. George Duarte providing excellent information on all these media channels here. So, George, one of the reasons that perhaps you really like that late pick 4 is, of course, we got the Ed Burke Million, which you got a big superstar Norco, but we got a lot of superstars in this group. Depends, what happens at the break. Let's see who has that finish, the strongest finish. Let's see what horse takes that next step forward. So we can see a nice little price there, or we can just see, just the rise of a star like maybe Norco, maybe Devil's Tower. My butt has been so consistent.
Yeah, like usually it's always nice to see when you see a few undefeated horses and then they get to match up in the finals, and that's what we got here. I mean, there's horses that you always wonder, can they go longer? And all the ones that were, besides maybe wire fraud, everybody that was expected to show up did show up. We had some big performances came out of nowhere, like Up to Party. She just was a standout from the rail. I mean, Monty had her ready. She broke good, and she was probably the quickest early and finished with the fastest final 8. So that's a deadly combo.
Yeah, Up to Party, fastest qualifier, won her maiden by a half a length, and did it against fillies. So it wasn't like an open field where she maybe hooked up with some of the big name boys. Nope, but got that victory and then came back in the trials and put together just a tremendous effort. Wins by 3/4 of a length, and did so against Rob's Reason, who also qualified, and against Wire Fraud that you mentioned. So she did it in one of the strongest trials of the night against one of the horses that we were expecting the most out of.
Yeah. I mean, she made no mistakes, looked good. I mean, and that's the fastest final 8. So you can't say, oh, she's just quick and is going to try to do the same thing. I mean, she finished the best too. But speaking of Rob's Reason, he draws the rail, which I don't like, but the horse is talented. It had a workman-like debut, I felt. That's why I remember I write down the glances, but it's one where you can see that Flores still hadn't got to the bottom of yet. So he was still going, prevailed in that race, then drew the outside, broke in a little bit, had some mild drifting early, and then shifted out late. I say about 2 or 3 lanes. And so he still has room to improve. But the rail is tough and is drawing next to a fast breaker and Laredo. So I think he's going to need some racing luck. But, I mean, there's been horses that have won futurities from the rail at Losa.
Well, we're talking with you about the horse from the rail, Rob's Reason. We're going to talk to you about the horse on the far outside post, Devil's Tower. And since we're talking about Rob's Reason, how about we show an interview that we put together with Jose Flores. He not only trades Rob's Reason, but also Big Hurt. So here's Jose Flores, a 2-time Ed Burke Million winner, talking about both of his starters in Sunday's big race. With Big Hurt, how is the horse doing after that nice victory?
You know what? He came back real good, real sound, Orlando, and he's just eating well, and we haven't had no issues with him sound-wise. So I'm real positive about him. If he's 100% in the gates, he might be a little bit tough, in the race. He needs to do everything right. No room for mistake in this race. So we're hoping that everything goes his way,
Rob's Reason, a horse that ran solid in the trials, didn't win that trial race, but ran a heck of a race. But happy to see the owners get into a $1 million race. The Winslows have been supporting racing here at Los Alamitos for a long time. First time, right, that they've been in $1 million race, and also Mr. Lane's Sprouse.
Yeah, I believe it's first time for them to be in the $1 million race, and they're great people, great owners. They're real supportive of our barn, and Mark and Marta and Lane. They let me do my job. They let me make good decisions on our work, and the horse is really proven. He's a little rushed into this race, but I think if he's the kind of horse that does everything right, stands perfect in the gates and everything, so he might have a good shot to be a little bit and maybe get a piece of the pie in this one.
Thanks so much, Jose.
You got it.
Well, getting a piece of the pie in $1 million race, that can be a big slice, George.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you just finish 5th, you split the field, you still get a good amount of money, get all your money, your investment back and some. And speaking of Big Hurt, I think he's drawn really well to show his best. I'm not surprised of Jose Dow thinks that's his best chance in here. He draws well next to Norco, who breaks straight, doesn't make mistakes. So then you don't have to worry about the inside horse breaking out on you. And then you got a professional Monty horse with James Flores aboard, who also is another one that breaks them straight. If you ever watch the finals and you watch James Flores, he always breaks them straight. So he's going to get that clear path, and he can finish. He finishes well. He finished strong in his last try from the outside, gets the middle post, which is, I think, is a good post if you can get, a clear path. So, he has I think he's going to hit the Super. I don't know if he can win because I like my top pick, which we're going to talk about next, but I think I'm going to use him for sure in the Superfectas.
Yeah, and when you're talking about a horse like Big Hurt, you don't want to kind of overshadow him or kind of forget him or kind of underrate him, because we start talking about the top horses, and then you kind of forget about the 4th, 5th, 6th horses, horses that have been undefeated. I mean, we haven't mentioned Laredo once, and he's unbeaten and has done some really nice things in both of his starts. So, yeah, Big Hurt, if you really like a horse, right, and you're looking to kind of cash in on a big price, just give it a roll and go with a horse like Big Hurt, because he hasn't really done anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you'll look back on the PPs of some of these best horses, and you're like, I can't believe, impress him. He was 10-1 when he won a Futurity at Remington. It's like, oh, how can you impress him 10-1 in the final? And it's because, when he's facing other horses that are promising just as much at the time. And if you have a strong opinion, you can get paid.
And we don't even have to look that far. Just the last Futurity that we ran, the Rubber Adair Kindergarten Futurity, Cedar Hill with Eddie Willis came to town, won his trial impressively, then comes back and wins the final at a nice price. So, yeah, you start looking at, you start just concentrating on those top names, and you let some of these really nice horses that have done really nice things kind of slide through, and then they get you with that big price if you're not, if you kind of forget about them. So, speaking of prices, who is your top pick? Who is your big horse in the Ed Burke?
I'm going to the outside. I'm going to Aleman and Devil's Tower. I mean, I like the way, I questioned him. I don't know why, I'm never a trainer, but I questioned him why he was coming back in that 220, on May 11th. And I think he just he didn't want to mess up this horse. He knew that this horse can win the Ed Burke. That was his big chance. So he said, I'm going to give him one more race, make sure he's ready for that trial. And he did his job in that 220 race, beat the field. It was a weaker field, but he did it like he was supposed to. And then, just put it all together last time in a strong effort along the towards the inside. Finished strong, finished in 9:51. 9:60. 9:51, which is the second fastest. Besides the fastest qualifier. Draws next to that big Heath horse, so it should get should be able to outbreak that horse relatively easy and have a clear path. Peinado loves the outside. Has won from the outside before. And I think it's all lining up for that horse to fire big.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Juan Aleman following Devil's Tower's really nice victory in the trials, and just kind of make sure that I kind of sinks in what he's saying. He's saying this horse, I see it as at his second start, because I'm just gonna cross out that first outing, because that first outing I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to, mention it anymore. It was just such a bad race from a horse that I know can do so much better. So that maiden race, the one that you're talking about, that 220, as far as Juan Aleman is concerned, that was his first out, and then he comes back and runs in the trials and puts together that beautiful race. So here's Juan Aleman talking about Devil's Tower.
Really is actually his second start, because his first out didn't count. He lost his footing, then that horse came in, so I kind of scratched that race. I really didn't want to run him again, but I had to. Can't go into these trials with that kind of start. So in his second start, that's why I only ran 220. I just wanted to get him an out, and then from there he showed what he showed in the morning tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And Juan Aleman was in a hurry. He was very busy. Had a lot of things going on. Devil's Tower was out there at the other end of the winner's circle area. So, but what he said is key, right? He explained very well what happened in that first out. He told you why he went 220 in that race. He needed to do something. He couldn't just go into the Ed Burke Million trials up for that really bad race. And he got everything done that he wanted in that trial race and more. He's sitting there as one of the top horses to watch in the $1 million race.
Yeah, you got to, I'm pretty sure he's the only horse that went from 220 to 350. That's a big jump. A lot of these other horses had that 300-yard start. So you should expect another jump forward in the finishing department. And if the horse can finish better than he did last time, I mean, I think they're all running for second.
Very well. So we got Devil's Tower for George. I included him in my top 3 as well. So looking forward to what's going to be a tremendous running of the Ed Burke Million Futurity. George, we also have a couple of other nice races this weekend. We talked to Chris Wade kind of at length about the running of the Abigail Kawananakoa. Any horses that you like in that one, or are we just looking at Patty Saint, maybe the outside horse, AJ Bourne running, Nymphet? Any thoughts on that race?
I think it's going to be, Patty Saint. I didn't think she can get better at 6, but she's found a way to get better under Monty. Making that private purchase worked out for him. The horse ran a career best last out. I mean, is going. When the mares are sharp, they keep going. So it's going to be hard to deny her. I mean, she Fearless Moon gave her a good run last time. It's coming back fresh. That's my worry, that she might not be 100% ready for this race. I think it's a Patty Saint and then the 10 AJ Bourne running, slam dunk exactly.
And just to mention really quickly, we also have the running of the $25,000 Via Bono Stakes. We'll talk about that race more with Michael Wrona, but just to kind of set it up a little bit as we await Michael, it's a horse with runners that were in the Vessels Maturity trials. Those are where the preferred horses that came back and entered in the Via Bono. So horses like London Toby are in there. Don Sass KVN is in there. He's Judge and Jury is also in there. So we'll take a look at that race a little bit more at length with Michael Wrona. Thanks so much, George. Looking forward to a great weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos.
So am I. This should be a good day. Good day of racing, both days.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 8 great days of racing starting on Saturday, June 22nd. The opening day program will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 29th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Thursday, 4th of July, and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 6th. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. Opening day, Saturday, June 22nd.
Can you believe it, Michael? Double headers are back here at Los Alamitos. Professor G here, joined by the great Michael Wrona. And that's right, double headers are back.
Yes, we've got 3 exciting weeks to look forward to of the afternoon thoroughbreds to complement the nighttime programs, which of course will continue as usual. That does make for some busy Saturdays and Sundays, but great fun, and it'll be an exciting few weeks for sure.
We'll make sure we keep that warm tea, streaming steadily into the announcer's booth, because you're very, very busy on those Saturdays and Sundays. And I don't know how you do it, Michael. Just not to mention the fact that you are such an excellent race caller, but just, race after race after race on those double headers. What a tremendous job you do, Mike.
Well, thank you, mate. You'll make me blush. But yeah, there is a bit of extra vocal wear and tear and some potential mental fatigue occasionally. You just get a little wave of it now and again and try to battle through it. It's not just actually the afternoon and nights. It's the morning radio spots as well. Of course, you and I do one each typically on Thoroughbred LA each weekend. You do the Sunday morning with Mike Willman, and I do the Saturday mornings with John Lindo and Bob Ike. Normally during the Thoroughbred meets at Los Al, there's a few extra obligations for me in the morning. I'm on the Sirius XM show hosted by Bill Finley and Dave Johnson talking about the afternoon races. And sometimes there's a couple of other requests as well. So it's almost like a triple shift. Not that the radio things in the morning are very long, but you'd still have to be alert. You still have to be in gear vocally and mentally from an early hour in the morning. So it kind of kickstarts the day a lot earlier than would ordinarily be the case if I just had to turn up and call the races with a 1 o'clock first post or whatever the post time is. So yeah, it is taxing from that standpoint. There's extra handicapping and extra radio appearances in the AM.
And it's all a warm-up, Michael, for to get you prepared and in the mood for the Wiener Nationals, which is coming up on Saturday, July 13th. and talk about just calling those races and trying to get into a focus and just trying to figure out where all these little guys are going right in those Winter National trials.
Yeah, that's the date that everybody should have circled on their Los Alamitos calendar. And yeah, you're right, mate. The thoroughbred meet, the double duty, it's merely a warm-up for the Wiener Nationals.
Yeah, of course, we're kidding about that. But 8 days of racing during the Los Alamitos meet. This is the Los Angeles County Fair meet at Los Alamitos. 8 days of racing, opening day, June 22nd. That's a Saturday. Bertrando Stakes right off the bat on that Saturday. We're going to have 3 really good stakes races. The second Saturday is the $100,000 Los Alamitos Derby. And on the third Saturday is the Grade 2 Great Lady Anne Stakes. That will also be the day that we'll have our on-track handicapping contest. So a lot to look forward to during the LA County Fair meet here at Los Alamitos. Well, Michael, let's get talking quarter horse racing, especially with the Saturday program. I talked to George Duarte a little bit about the Via Bono Stakes, a race that is coming up on Sunday. This is the Sunday, one of the Sunday features, the co-feature on the undercard here of the Ed Burke Million Futurity, and a really, really nice race here. It's a $25,000 race, the Via Bono. But look at some of these names here. We have Fortunate Corona on the rail. The headliner name, of course, London Toby, 8-5. He's the winner of the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship. He's judge and jury. He's right there at the $2 million mark in career earnings. Of course, he won the All-American Futurity a few years ago. Has been on some big races here at Los Alamitos. Ran third in the Los Al 2 million Futurity. Don Sass KVN making his season debut. Ran third in the Southern California Derby. Terrific Phoenix. Also stakes performer, won the Muniz Stakes. Edgar Verde, the Brazilian champion and standout. What a great debut he had here at Los Al. And Normandy completes the field. He is the number 7 horse. First time gelding, Normandy, 6-1 on the morning line here. Michael, the name of the stakes race is the Via Bono. And I remember on your social media once you posted a nice photo of you visiting the Kentucky Horse Park, where so many champions are stabled at, right?
Yes, you have an excellent memory, because that goes back to 2018, I think. Pretty sure it was 2018, maybe 2017, when I was out there in Kentucky, in the Lexington area, and did visit the Kentucky Horse Park, my first and only visit there. Really worthwhile place to spend some time. And I met Via Bono. He was there and looking great at the time, and was very nice to make his personal acquaintance. He was there as the quarter horse representative or ambassador, and he was very well cared for throughout his retirement there.
When you met him, did anything stand out about him? Because when he was here at Los Al, I used to go out there and visit him quite a lot. He loved to stick his tongue out on me. He was always sticking his tongue out at me. Dan Francisco called him the clown so many times because he was just a silly horse, a lot of personality to him. Anything that stands out that you can maybe recall all those years back on Via Bono?
Not specifically like that, no.
So it was just me. He would just stick his tongue out at me. Then. That's what.
He was a next door neighbor of De Hoss, that very famous dual winner of the Breeders' Cup Mile. And I tell you what, I'm going to now have to go rummaging back through my photos and social media posts. I'm going to see if I can dig up a photo of me with Via Bono and throw it back up there, repost it on Sunday night.
Perfect. Looking forward to that, Michael. Anything that stands out as far as this field?
Well, first of all, it's worth remembering that Don't Sass KVN was going to make his seasonal debut a few weeks ago, but he was a late scratch when I think he broke through the gate. So that's just a little tidbit to note. Look, I was really impressed with Ed Burke Verde. I thought it was a great piece of work in his US debut. and I like him out there in one of the outside stalls. I'm interested to see how he appreciates the extra yardage. He goes from 300 yards to 400 and obviously faces much stiffer opposition. That's an understatement, but he's a good-looking, well-accomplished animal from South America, and I've got a feeling he can be right in the thick of this finish. We just don't know who's completely wound up, because this, for most of these horses, I imagine would be a prep to the upcoming Grade 1 Vessels maturity. And so that's just a question mark. This wouldn't be the major target of a lot of horses in this field, and that's what makes this kind of a race just a little bit difficult. London Toby's got Gate 2. I'm a huge fan. How could you not be? Everybody is in awe of his ability and talent, and it was great to see him put it all together in the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship. It was a great triumph for the patience of Scott Willoughby and Dr. Allred. So it's a very good quality race. Just at the odds out wide there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would not let Ed Burke Verde get under your guard. I think he's got a really good knockout chance.
Yeah, 4-1 on that number 6 horse, Edgar Verde, and draws nicely, I think. It also gets Henry Reynoso Lopez up. And I recall Paul Jones talking about, all the things that were new for Edgar Verde when he made that racing debut. Nighttime, he was running during the night, how to acclimate here to Los Alamitos after traveling all the way from South America. A little bit different way over there in Brazil. They run in lanes, which are separated. So a lot of new things here for Edgar Verde. And like you mentioned, Michael, he just did an outstanding job winning that race by 3/4 of a length. A lot tougher competition here at Los Al. And he is one of the horses that is being pointed to the Vessels maturity. That will take place, if I remember correctly, on July the 7th, I believe. But Normandy is also Vessels maturity eligible. Edgar Verde, Terrific Phoenix, Don Sasque Bien, London Toby, even his judge and jury is eligible to the Vessels maturity. I expect that just about all of them will be back for that big race in 3 weeks here at Los Al. We did have a chance to catch up with Scott Willoughby, and he talked a little bit about London Toby and his return to action. Here's Scott Willoughby. Is super tough. How is London Toby coming in?
He's doing great. He's really doing good this year, and hopefully everything stays right with him. He's had some stomach problems in the past. It's cost us some races, but right now he's doing fantastic. And
there he is, Scott Willoughby, just talking a little bit about what has kept probably London Toby from winning a few more Grade 1 stakes races. He has had some physical ailments in the past. They've had to kind of stop on him and giving him some time off and bring him back. And every time that he's come back, he's just continued to be at that top level. You wonder just how good he would be if he had just continued on a nice, easy train all along.
Yeah, absolutely. The talent's been there all the while, and he could be in for a great second half of the season. Of course, the Vessels maturity punches the winner a ticket to the Champion of Champions, and who knows how the second half of 2024 will unfold.
Yeah, and some past winners of the Vessels maturity, Impressum won that race, and he went on to win the Champion of Champions the year that he won the Vessels maturity. So, Michael, let's go ahead and now move on to the feature event of the weekend, right? The $1 million Ed Burke Million Futurity. We've talked to Chris Wade about this race. He talked about Norco and the Heath Taylor pair of My Bud and Justin Kevin. We talked to George Duarte. He really likes the 10-horse Devil's Tower, and also had his thoughts on Big Hurt and Rob's Reason. We're going to concentrate this segment, Michael, on the Monte Rosa Quartet. Monte Rosa won this race back in 2020 with Chance to Excel. Laredo is one of his runners, the number 2 horse, 30-1. Ultimate Battle, 12-1. He's the number 6 horse. Up to Party, the fastest qualifier and a filly here, 7-2. And Fear and Fridays, 15-1 here for Monte Rosa. Michael, as I'm thinking about this, in just talking to you, kind of sparked that thought, is that all trainers in this race have won the Ed Burke Million Futurity in the past. Juan Aleman won it with Political Rivalry. Heath Taylor, Political Party Politics was Juan Aleman. Heath Taylor with Political Rivalry. Monte Rosa, like I just said, with Chance to Excel. Jose Flores has won this race twice, including He's a Dash of Fire. And Scott Willoughby, back in 2004, I believe, He's a Secret Diamond was his winner of the Ed Burke Million Futurity. So all these trainers know how to get it done in this big, big race. But again, nice quartet here for Monte Rosa in the Ed Burke Million Futurity. Your thoughts, Michael, on this nice group of runners?
Just before we tackle the Arosa quartet, since you're mentioning the other trainers, Orlando, and this might have came up with your segment with George, but Jose Flores sitting on the cusp of 100 stakes wins at Los Alamitos. He's been on 99 for a little while. I don't know if you guys covered that, but be a nice way to achieve that milestone, wouldn't it, in $1 million race?
That's all those zeros right there. 100 stakes wins for Jose Flores in $1 million race. I think he would really, really like that, Michael. I gotta, thanks for reminding me. I gotta go polish that sign up a little bit more. Make sure that is speak and span there for a possible presentation with Jose Flores in the winner's circle.
Yeah, that's just something else I'll try to cram into my brain to call the Ed Burke Million just in case Flores wins. I'll have to be ready to launch into some plaudits about that milestone. There's so many great angles in play. But as far as the Arosa quartet, look, Laredo, Drawn Gate 2, he was a clear debut winner from the rail and then had Gate 5 in his trial. He broke outwards and had a light bump. It was a solid win. He goes into the race undefeated. I know he's a big long shot, but he hasn't done a lot wrong to date, has he? Ultimate Battle, the 6, is the only maiden in the field, but there wouldn't be many better maidens on the grounds. He was troublesome in the gate before his debut. I remember him acting up, and that wouldn't have helped his cause. And he chased an absolute star in Wire Fraud on debut, finishing well clear of the third horse. And then in the trial, he closed strongly to be in a photo finish with stablemate Fear and Fridays, again well clear of the third horse. Maybe we can take a look at that replay, as a matter of fact, since it involves both of those stablemates.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Michael. Let's see if I can cue it up here in our preview show. And there it is, Michael, this trial of the on Ed Burke Million Futurity. This is trial 11 on a monster day of trials here at Los Alamitos. And tell me a little bit about Ultimate Battle, Fear and Fridays. Remind me, where are these horses positioned here in this heat?
Ultimate Battle had gate 4. Fear and Fridays was gate number 6. So look for the 4 and 6. Fairly clean trips. And you'll see Ultimate Battle closing stoutly. And he got within a head of Fear and Fridays, who's a far more experienced horse. And this was an exacta on a big trials night for Monte Rosa, with Fear and Fridays on the outside winning narrowly. But you can see how far ahead of the rest that Ultimate Battle was. That pair absolutely dominated their opposition. And it was just Ultimate Battle's second career start, whereas Fear and Fridays has had 4 starts now. And maybe there's a bit more upside with Ultimate Battle. Fear and Fridays, of course, was the fastest qualifier to the Kindergarten Futurity, started favourite in the Kindergarten, and then rebounded with this trial win. He's a very, very solid juvenile. But I've just got an idea that maybe Ultimate Battle has that little bit more potential upside, having the less experience of the two at this stage. So I think he's a value chance, even though he's a maiden.
Yeah, and I think George Duarte was speaking on that fact that James Flores in these big races, he's very consistent in getting his horses out of the gate in a straight path and straight fashion. So he'll be sitting on Ultimate Battle. So we were also talking about the fact that when we start focusing so much on the big names, you kind of let some of these really nice horses kind of slide, and then boom, they surprise you there in the final with a super effort.
Yeah, at least for exotics, I'd be throwing in number 6 Ultimate Battle for sure. He can be in the mix. And then you've got Up to Party, who was the fastest qualifier of them all, and is number 7 on Sunday night. What about the closing odds for the 2 wins by Up to Party? Has been let go at 9-1 and 10-1 so far. Beat Powerful Wise Lady on debut, who came out to win very impressively next time out. Great form line from the debut. And then, as I said, the fastest time in the trial. Cervantes lands there. He rides Up to Party. Of course, Monty's not short on other quality options in the saddle. Jesus Ayala will ride Laredo. As you mentioned, James Flores on Ultimate Battle. And Eduardo Nicasio's hopping on Fear and Friday. So very strong jockeys for all of them. But Cervantes is the stable rider, in quotes, and this is where he's landing, on the undefeated Up to Party, and with good reason, I suppose, as the fastest qualifier.
Yeah, and just talking about Up to Party, the sire, Kitty Up, just a super runner during his time. Didn't win the big one, but he did qualify to the Ed Burke Million Futurity here during his racing career. That was probably his best effort was when he qualified to the Ed Burke Million. And he's produced some really nice runners over the years, including J Fire Up, who still holds the record for most earnings by a 2-year-old filly in a single season here at Los Alamitos. So, he's had some really nice fillies. Kitty Up Cowgirl, another one as well, another filly that he produced that went on to win stakes races. We did have a chance to talk to Monte Rosa about a couple of his runners in this final. Up to Party.
She's real business-minded. I love a good filly. When they get dialed in, they get tough. And she ran a great maiden race here and came back and ran a super trial race tonight. And J Fire Up was an amazing Kitty Up filly, and we really like what this filly's doing for us.
And real quickly with this horse, nice battle with Ultimate Battle. Your 2 runners there finishing 1-2.
Yeah, Ultimate Battle, he got a little hot in the gates last time in his maiden and has matured a lot, and he put in a nice race. James said he was a little green right away from there, but was really closing on the end. So both of them, I was proud of them.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Michael. Monte Rosa just with his thoughts on the fastest qualifier, Up to Party. And of course, Ultimate Battle, a horse that can be sneaky, little tricky there in this final against all these big names.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race. So many talented juveniles, and Rosa always has to be respected in these feature races. But it's hard to put a line completely through many of the horses in the 10-horse field. It's going to be a great race.
Do you have your top 3 ready? Can we reveal your top 3 choices in this one? Or are you still kind of working on that?
I didn't know that I'd be put under that sort of pressure, mate. No, actually, I don't. I don't have a top 3. I'm a bit confused. I mean, I'm a huge Norco fan, as probably everybody on the planet is. The only question I've got is that he has had a perfect open trip both times. He hasn't had to overcome any adversity, but he's so professional that he probably won't have to on Sunday night either. I mean, he begins well, he does everything right, but he is in gate 4 in a very good field of 10, and we just haven't seen him with anything other than a perfect trip, as brilliant, as exhilarating as he is. So I just don't know. I think I'm picking Norco, but I really haven't decided on a top three. So I'm not going to put my head on the chopping block right now on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting because to his inside is My Bud. And My Bud has also pretty much put every race together nicely. So they should both break cleanly. And they'll give each other something to run at, between each other. So it'll be interesting to see how that helps My Bud, having a horse like Norco, who's been so quick. And also it'll be interesting to see how having My Bud on the inside helps Norco as far as keeping him focused and just going from start to finish. Of course, Devil's Tower on the far outside. We'll see how he performs. Heath Taylor mentioned just how big of a horse Justin Kevin is and how much he'll relish that extra distance. Another horse sitting out there on the outside. So I think the more competitive this race is early on, I think that might help those inside horses a little bit, Michael.
Interesting. Yeah. There's so much to factor in, isn't there?
Absolutely. Can't wait for what should be a great weekend of racing. The Abigail Kawananakoa on Saturday. And of course, we talked about the Via Bono and the Ed Burke Million Futurity on Sunday. Thank you so much for taking the time here to join us, Michael. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. And I'll go immediately searching for the Via Bono photo from years ago.
Go at it, Michael. Thank you. And for everyone that's watching the show, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you at the races here at Los Alamitos. Thank you, everyone.
The best of racing is always at Los Alamitos, with exciting action every Saturday and Sunday nights. The Ed Burke Million Futurity Final is set for Sunday night, June 16th, with a lineup of stars led by fastest qualifier Up to Party, Kindergarten Futurity runner-up My Bud, plus undefeated standouts Norco, Big Hurt, and Laredo, and more. The top juveniles in quarter horse racing, plus night racing's best bets, season high pools in the early pick 4, and our pick 6 promo. Always at Los Alamitos.
Racing!